Alrighty, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Comics Run the World podcast. As always, I am your co-host Mateo, and like in every other episode, I am accompanied by...
Joined by Frankie, and today we have our third guest.
Oh yeah.
Welcome, Payton. What's going on, dude?
Not much. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got to meet Payton for MegaCon in Orlando. I got to meet a bunch of people, but just had a super fun time hanging out with you and wanted to have you on the podcast, talk some Allstar. We got a fun little March Madness thing here to go along with the basketball tournament. Instead, it'll be comic book characters.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So yeah, we planned some questions. Pretty basic stuff, just about what it's like creating your own comic book. But
Absolutely.
Teo, if you wanna kick it off, and then we'll just bounce back and forth some different questions. And
Okay, sounds
hear what
good.
you got to say.
Before I ask the set list of questions that we have, I always got to ask this.
Oh yeah,
to either Frankie or our guests. 3 questions. What are you watching, playing, and reading as of right now?
Okay. So me first, I'm assuming, or like
Go ahead.
yes, okay, yeah. All right. So watching, that's tough. I really don't watch a lot. Obviously X-Men '97 just came out. So I got to see it. And that's about the extent of what I'm watching at the moment. So I don't have like any ongoing show or anything that I'm actually getting to. I'm very long-winded, by the way. You're going to learn this throughout the. But now reading, I am currently reading. Besides like my monthly pulls, I'm reading Something Is Killing the Children. I'm on volume 3. It's fantastic.
Okay.
James Tynion's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And then I am currently playing, which I just started Twitch streaming, Marvel's Midnight Suns. So that's been fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
How
awesome.
was that one's that card game, right?
It is, yeah. It's like, but it surprised me. It's not just like the turn-based action. Like you actually have like a role-playing thing. Like you get to have a self-insert character that they created for you, and then like you have like relationship building you're doing with the team, and like you get to. There is a little bit of an open world concept with the Abbey that you all hang out with. So it's got a lot of cool perks that I wasn't expecting.
That's cool. I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
awesome.
why that game I felt like got slept on by a lot of people, which I mean, I think they hear like the turn-based like card game or whatever, and they're just like, it's not for me.
I remember everyone just like instant turn off when that came out, where there's like a turn-based card game. I was like, nope. But then like I hear a lot of people like praising it, saying it's really good, and there's like more to it than just that.
Yeah, well, there's also the fact that they put it like on like PlayStation Pass or whatever, like so now like you don't have to pay the like $70 for it anymore. So that's why people are
that's always a
now.
plus. Yeah.
My answer is I've been working a ton. I've actually just been playing a lot of Nintendo DS games, like from my childhood.
Oh yeah, you got your DS, right?
Yeah, I've kind of just been doing that, and I'm still reading War of Kings. I just haven't finished it yet. It just keeps going, and but it's been really good from everything that I've read. So
nice.
That's about it.
I just started reading again Berserk. I picked up where I left off last time, and it's great. Obviously, fantastic. It's fantastic. I haven't really been reading that much. I've just been watching a lot of movies recently. I just been on a movie kick. I just showed Frankie before we started recording my big pile of movies that I rented from my library.
Oh hell yeah!
Not even close to what I queued up on my account. I have like 60 movies, not including these. Not including these. Me, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So would you say you're like a film buff, or is this like a new thing where you're just getting into? Okay.
This is a brand new thing that I'm just getting into. Yeah. Because I see like a lot of clips from different movies, and I was like, okay, I kind of want to watch more movies because I haven't really watched like the essential. I've never seen Lord of the Rings or The Godfather.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. I haven't seen. I usually just rewatch the same movies over and over and over again. So I kind of want to diversify a little bit. So
Yeah, no, I mean, IMDb just released like the top 10 movies of all time, like the other day. I mean, that obviously it's always been there, but they posted it again, is what I mean.
Mhm.
But like, both of those, like Lord of the Ring and like Godfather, both are on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That top 10, I probably maybe have only seen one movie on the top 10
Oh, wow.
max.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to change that up right now.
Right.
But
I respect it.
it's been great.
Yeah. Yeah, no, hell yeah. I'd say I'm a little jealous that you get to do
Yeah.
that,
Yeah,
But,
Godfather's amazing.
Yeah.
Not part 3, but it's
right.
amazing.
Alrighty. So you have your own comic book.
I do, yeah.
Frankie, you want to start with your questions, or you want me to begin?
I'll go ahead with one of mine, but before I do, if you want to give us a brief, almost like pitch for your comic, tell us. I mean, we know what it is, but for
Right.
those who don't know,
Yeah, so Allstar is, in essence, a coming of age story. We're following Jason Kelly. He's a 19-year-old kid, and like I wanted to kind of not subvert the genre, but do a little different route where most heroes start out with some kind of tragedy or whatever. Jason, on the other hand, has had like this perfect life. I mean, he's had great parents. He's a great athlete in school, all the money he could ever want, and then on top of all that, he's like a superhero now. So that's like every kid's dream, right? But the irony of it is that he's kind of going to learn more about what it is to be human now that he has these powers.
Right.
And for the first time in his life, he's facing real challenges. So that's kind of how I put it. It's got a lot of from what people who've read the script and everything have told me, like the tagline that I've got from them is it's Invincible meets Captain America and the Winter Soldier meets like Superman 78. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, so
okay,
it's got some fun stuff in it too. But it's very family oriented. And the whole like kind of theme that I was going for when writing it is like it's the idea of the death of the father. I'm not actually killing the father, but it's more that moment that I think a lot of people go through in life where you realize your parents may not be exactly the people you thought they were. Now, whether that's in adulthood or when you're 12, I think we all have this moment where you kind of glass shatters and you're like, oh, okay, they're a little different than what I realized. So that's the I know you said a short description, but that's the best way to pitch it to somebody, I think.
Awesome.
okay. And then my first question, it's a pretty broad question, but what got you wanting to make your own comic book?
It's
What was
something I had always kind of played around with the idea of. I just never saw a window of opportunity to do it. I was like, oh, I love, I mean, I love comics, I love superheroes and stuff, and I was like, I've got some ideas floating around in my head, and I was just like, I don't really have any way that that's ever possible. I didn't know enough about it, about the industry and everything like that. But through TikTok, I got to interview some writers and creators, and you know what I mean. Like as my account grew, and I've got to meet people that work in the industry and kind of saw how it was done, and I was like, okay. And then obviously, like besides the technical side of all of that, the main like actual motivator was my mom actually passed away about a year and a half ago. She's a very creative, artsy person, loved to paint. And so kind of in her memory, I was just like, this would be a cool thing to pursue, in her honor, I guess, is a way to, if I put something creative out to the world. So that was a big determining factor for actually pulling the trigger and going into this thing that's, obviously financially risky and you know what I mean? Like just doesn't make a lot of sense to do, but it's more of a passion thing,
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Wow, that was a great response.
Oh, thanks.
That was great. What is the process you follow when creating your comic? Is there like basically like how do you like deconstruct the planning of your comic, and how does that go into the actual creation of it?
Right. Well, so with this story specifically with Allstar, I had the idea of the story first before I even had a character, really.
Okay.
That kind of the quote that I was kind of telling you earlier. It's a Sigmund Freud quote, by the way, but it's well, actually, I didn't say the quote, but I told you the idea that you went by. But the quote is that no boy can become a man until his father has died. And that was like the whole where all the story started to, span from. And like I said, it doesn't need to be a physical death. It can be spiritual or psychological. After I took that basic theme, that's when I kind of started to expand and be like, okay, what kind of character would I like to make? You know what I mean? Like, who would this kid be? You know, what does his parents look like? And it's actually funny enough. I keep it on my desk now. I've been doing TikTok full time for like a year now, but this is like an old like timesheet that I would keep at work. You know what I mean? Just kind of
okay.
like, but on the back of it, you can see like this is almost 2 years old now, but I had my first like sketch of Allstar.
Okay.
I was like, I was on a lunch break and I was sitting there and I was like, okay, well, this is who he is. These are things about him. So I keep this here. I just found this the other day actually, but I decided to throw on my desk here. But anyway, you can see the process of kind of building out the character, and then from there, it was just outlining the story. I don't know how some people that write can like do like fly by the seat of their pants. I think that's absolutely insane. I don't know how you can do that, but you know, me personally, I have to know where I'm going. You know what I mean? I think if you want to tell a good story, you have to know where it ends, and that's how you get there. You know, so I mean, I outlined each individual issue and then went in and actually started script writing for them. So that's my process. I don't know.
Okay.
Bouncing off that, what are some of your favorite comics like that you've read, and which of those inspired you like while writing this? I know you said Invincible meets, but like, are there any comics that you've read that have inspired you to like in your story, like?
Right. I don't know. I mean, I don't think directly. And that's something that I don't know. Like I said, I know I used that tagline, but I never sat down and was like, I want to create an Invincible meets whatever. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't any influence. I think more what it is just I have things that I like from other books. You know what I mean? That like I can start to identify in this one now. You know, I mean, it's something like All-Star Superman, which I know is such a cliche answer, but even the name All-Star, you know what I mean? It's kind of homage to All-Star Superman, you know, because that book is just so monumental, I think, in my reading experience. You know, and I think it probably is in almost everybody's who's ever read that book. But you know, just that gleaming beacon of hope that Superman is, with also some of that like fun essence that like Grant Morrison like can really do like no other. You know, I mean, Grant, the way that they write things is just like it's so comic booky, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's but so I would say All Star Superman probably has a lot of influence on it. And also, you know, just early like origin stories for heroes. You know, Spidey. You know, I mean, stuff like that. I mean, but I couldn't pinpoint set. You know what I mean? Books that like necessarily influenced this one. You know what I mean? Other than maybe All Star Superman, but that would probably be it. And even that's very loose. You know.
Okay.
Cool.
But that's a great question.
So kind of speaking on like the creative aspect of your comic book, how do you handle creative blocks or challenges during the creation process?
That's a great question. Yeah. Me personally, I have to like isolate myself essentially. So I typically like try to write a little bit every day, every other day. I don't have a whole lot of time to commit to it like I would like to. But I think it's good. I think writing is like anything. You know, if you wanted to be a good artist, you have to draw every day. You know what I mean? If you want to, you know, get in shape and lift weights or whatever you want to be good at, it takes time, it takes practice. So even if it's not something that's necessarily a story that I will ever pursue, I like to sit down and do a little bit of writing. But when I can't go anywhere, I just start throwing shit at the wall essentially. Like if I just force myself to put words down. And like there's been times, for example, with issue 1 of All-Star, I was really stuck at like page 4 or 5, and I was just like, I'm not getting up until I write to like page 10. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like page 11 or whatever. I was like, I have to do it today. And I sat down and dude, I think I wrote the next 17 pages in that one sitting. You know what I mean? It's just like once like I kind of pushed through that moment, it just all started flooding out. So that's kind of my personal experience with creative blocks. Also music. I love to listen to music, and that kind of like inspires, you know, a lot of what, you know, I mean, I try to do creatively and stuff. So
that's cool.
Do you ever like listen to music to like I don't know, like sometimes I listen to Batman soundtrack while I'm reading Batman. Do you ever like, I don't know, like get in the zone, like listen to music and writing, like almost like a flow state?
I have a playlist for All-Star.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I did so
All-Star playlist.
Yeah. So like where he's like 19, I have a cousin that's like 20. You know what I mean, 21. and I was just like, "Hey, man, what kind of music do you listen to?" You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because I'm almost 30 now, and obviously I have some stuff that like I listen to like in a locker room, like playing football. But I mean, the kid was an athlete. I mean, and I'm trying to just kind of get into the head of this character a little bit more. So yeah, no, I made a whole playlist and everything, and I will listen to that. Like,
Okay.
yeah, I might put that
Cool.
up on Spotify or something for everybody if they want to like, listen to it for themselves.
You should. That's really cool.
That's
I
awesome.
appreciate
I
that.
kind of do the same thing when, not even in the creative aspect, but whenever I'm writing an essay for class, whenever
Yeah.
I'm just like stuck, my go-to is either classical music or jazz,
Oh yeah, okay,
just to
cool.
get like the gears going, I guess. So I kind of act out what I want to say in my essay.
Yeah,
As
well,
strange
yeah,
as
no,
it
dude.
sounds.
Yeah, no, that's not. I don't think that's weird at all. I mean, there's legit times where I was like, I was standing up, like positioning myself, being like, "Does this
Yeah.
make like when I'm trying to write?" Because that's the thing is like, comic scripting's so weird because you're trying to describe these very specific moments in time. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, so I'm like trying to describe, like, well, what is he doing when he's trying to throw this punch here? You know what I mean? Where is the contact? Like, is it an uppercut? Like, how are you trying to just, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, like, sometimes I'll stand up and act it out, like you're saying.
Mhm.
So I don't think that's weird. People listening may think it's weird, but I have no control of them. But
All right. This is more just a fun question. If you could have your all-star character either do a crossover or just hang out with a comic book character, whether it's DC, Marvel, anything, hang out, do a crossover issue, who do you think you would pick to do that with?
God, that's tough to pick one. If I was like, all right, can I give multiple answers and then try to pick from there?
Yes.
Okay. The first one would probably be Nightwing, believe it or not. I'd say that Dick Grayson's probably inspired a lot of this character. And then I would say Spider-Man and Invincible, even though Invincible and Spider-Man crossed over. But that kind of like feeds into where this character sits, you know what I mean, as far as characterization. But yeah, I mean, I would say Nightwing would be the most fun one, especially too because like now Dick is in his late 20s and he could be in more of a mentorship role, and something that Allstar could very much use, because also Allstar is like the only hero in his universe right now. So a crossover where he gets kind of coached up by Dick Grayson would be really, really cool.
That would be cool.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and there's also like the whole like I don't know how much of Tom Taylor's Nightwing you all have read, but I like the crossovers that they've done with Dick and John, where he's like kind of coaching John through like how to control his strength and stuff. So or even how to technically throw punches. So I think that's an interesting aspect when you have Superman like characters that never really needed to learn how to throw a punch. You know what I mean? They were just already stronger than everybody. But,
yeah,
that's true.
So
yeah, I've read volume 1 and half of volume 2 of Tom Taylor's Nightwing run, but what you just said about Nightwing coaching, was it John Kent Superman? I've seen like images of that on like Reddit, Twitter.
Yeah.
I've seen it, and I think it's like great. And
no, it's fantastic. And honestly, with Tom Taylor's Nightwing, you're about through the best parts of it if you've read halfway of volume 2. I mean, I know like some people are still like absolutely nuts about it, and that's great.
Yeah.
But I think after issue 100, it's kind of struggled along a little bit.
I have seen that.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, I mean that's like that was my favorite book for a long time coming out of DC, and it's still like when it comes out, like it moves to the top of my reading pile. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying it's horrible or anything. I just think Tom got very distracted with the other stuff he was working on. I mean, he had that Dark Knights of Steel that took 2.5 years to get 12 issues out. And, he had Beast World going on and Titans, and like they're doing all this shifting with the DC universe and stuff. I just don't think that, and I think Nightwing suffered because of it. You know what I mean? Like the book itself, anyway. And the whole pirate arc and stuff, I just wasn't that great. It's fun in theory, but I mean, it's just,
yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. How do you see the future of comic books, especially with the rise of digital comics and all that stuff?
Whew. Man, that's a loaded question. I think that the industry is in a better place than people give it credit for, if that makes sense. I don't think paper comics will ever be completely obsolete. And I
Yeah.
actually think that, and I'm a big proponent of this myself. But we're seeing more of a return, and this is really quick, I think, as far as the pendulum swinging of society. But we're seeing more of a return to physical media. Especially
Yeah.
in the movie space. You know what I mean? Because I mean, you showed the stack of movies
Yeah.
that you had, but
Yeah.
but no, I mean, because people like these streaming services and stuff. Even if you purchase or whatever, download something, I mean, you're not guaranteed to have it for forever. You
Yeah.
know, and I mean, and these things they go away. You know, I mean, we're kind of seeing that more and more nowadays. And I think people, if you really want to hold on to something, and they know that in their hearts, they have to buy the pay. And plus, it's so much better. You know what I mean? If we're being
Yeah.
real, to read a comic physically. And I just now like got an iPad recently, and that was a game changer because for a long time I've read hundreds, maybe thousands of comics on my phone, and that sucks ass in comparison. You know what I mean? Like at least with an iPad, I was like, holy shit! Like I can turn and see a 2-page spread now. You know. But yeah, no, I think physical copies are gonna stick around. I do think that as we move further into the digital age, that they'll have to somehow make it easier and more streamlined to get comics to people. I do think that local comic shops are gonna get forced to adapt eventually. I just don't. I don't think that these brick and mortars that just are so opposed to any kind of online presence are going to be able to last for the next 10 15 years, but that's just me speculating. And as far as the industry too, like as the books coming out in it, I see a bit, and this isn't just because I have an indie book coming out, but I do see more of a shift of independent work and non big two works that are getting more publicized. And I think that I think a great thing too is that, and this is something that I advocate for, is readers that pay attention to the creative team behind the book you like, and pick out the writers and the artists and stuff, instead of just saying, well, I like Spider-Man, so I'm going to read every single issue of Spider-Man, and you're going to read a shit ton of junk. You know what I mean? If we're being for real, you know what I mean? You're gonna suffer through a lot just because you like the character. It's stupid. Where I mean, where personally, if you like somebody like Mark Waid, just go look for Mark Waid books. You know what I mean? And that means outside the big two companies. I mean, like Irredeemable, I mean, is one of the biggest, you know what I mean? I think independent titles there probably is. So that's another thing I see happening with comics is just the rise of the creator owned stuff for one. And I think that's how the industry is going to ultimately survive, is creator owned books. Because that's really how these guys make money and make a living,
Yeah.
I agree. And I mean, what you said about the how like physical comics will never go away, that's very true, and it's shown through not only people collecting like movies, whether it's like a Criterion collection or a Steelbook or what have you, but people just like having it physically. Vinyls are still a very popular thing. They rose up. I know for like a second, cassette players started to come back again. It might be
even
just
CDs.
my region.
CDs.
Dude, I've still got CDs.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I feel like that's something that people are already going to say that it's a dying industry or what have you. But in reality, especially with all the movies that are coming out, it's not going to be a dying industry anytime soon, because it'll still be supported by either movies or, like what you said, independent creators who push their stuff out, especially on TikTok, where you can have it right there on the app, like the TikTok shop, all that stuff. So I feel like it just keeps expanding in some sort of way or form.
Yeah, and even too, like with the movies thing. I mean, I've noticed a lot of people more recently getting into actually film in and of itself. And I'm not a huge film person. I mean, I appreciate great movies and stuff, but I much more prefer comic books. But that's just a preference of a medium that I like.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I agree. I think that which I think that the DVDs would save like what people consider film. You know what I mean? Like these huge franchise, multi-billion-dollar deals, multi-million. Hopefully $1 billion is what they're hoping for at the box office. But everything can't be a franchise, and streaming kind of killed the rom-com. You know, I mean,
And-
yeah, I mean, seriously, I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I mean, because they don't want to take a risk at doing these films that are, you know, 50 million, you know, maybe even $100 million movies. Because used to, they would make it back on DVD sales. They knew it wouldn't carry in the box office to make it up, but you know, they'd make it
Yeah.
on the back end with DVDs, and that just doesn't exist anymore. You know, so I think
Yeah.
that a push back for physical media could also help the film industry a lot. You know,
Yeah. And I know that especially Warner Brothers and like Max and whatever, whenever they push out like a movie, I think it was in the instance for Mutant Mayhem, for example. Was that Warner Brothers or someone else? Was that
it's on Amazon, so I doubt it was.
Okay.
I don't know.
but it was one of the movies that everyone loved, and then 2 days after like the premiere, like it dropped in theaters, it said, "Oh, it's gonna be on a streaming service in 2 weeks." So
Yeah.
it kind of like kills
Right.
like the probability of that. And if anyone's seen 28 Days Later, it's nowhere to be found online.
Oh,
You can't watch it
damn,
on
really?
any
Oh, really?
streaming service. You can't even buy it on Amazon to watch. So that's kind of another thing where like if you're just like want to watch something on streaming,
Yeah.
you're out of luck
Right.
because that's just not anywhere. But
Yeah.
if you have it DVD, whatever, you have
You
it
always
there.
got it.
So
Yeah.
exactly, unless they like forcefully take it from you.
Right.
Steal your DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much to add. I pretty much agree with y'all. I think there's a happy medium for comics with digital and physical, because me and Mateo both mostly read digitally,
Mhm.
but obviously like I've got a lot of physical books behind me. Like I think there's just a happy medium where both can definitely exist.
Yeah.
And hopefully the industry finds its way towards that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I'm trying to think of what I was getting at here. Oh, do you all read singles? Like, do you pull like weekly, or do you do trades mostly?
I tried to pull recently, like a month and a half, 2 months ago, for with like the new Transformers, and then after I read the
dude,
first
it's so
issue,
good.
I was like, I can't wait to a whole month to see what happens next.
We're
And
both
plus-
impatient.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
impatient.
Well,
Especially with Transformers, how like it runs out quickly because it's super popular. I don't want to wait.
yeah, I get that, and that's kind of what I was gonna say with physical media with comics is I do think that trades are gonna have to become like what they're and I think it is in a way what they're working towards, but like single issues and like what you were talking about, like waiting a month in between books is hard for a lot of people. I'm used to it, so I really don't care that much. You know what I mean? But like, especially nowadays with even you see with people with shows, they can't stand to wait a week in between episodes, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like they want it all now. They want to binge watch it all now. And I think that maybe comics should start considering like, let's just hold it until the trade, you know? I know
Yeah.
that would be tougher on the company because like they're not making as much for what they're paying the creative teams, you know what I mean, right
Yeah.
away. They would just have to be pushing the hell out of the trade once it actually releases. But
Right.
it might be worth considering like releasing these things as books. But collectors might just keep single issues around for forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And I feel like the speculation market too.
that's
Kinda
really
gets
pissing
in-
me off right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
it gets in a way with like people wanting to read it just for the story, because I know 8 million or 8 billion genies, that story, the first issue was something that's super hot. Everyone wanted to get the #1 issue.
Right.
I never understood why like there was so much speculation around it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read it because I
Amazon.
haven't.
It's because Amazon picked it up for a show.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Amazon picked it up for a show, and
Yeah.
the speculator market blew up.
Yeah, and with Ultimate Spider-Man 1, Frankie, you saw on eBay
I
the
sold
first
it.
issue. Yeah, easiest $80 you can make.
Dude, I
Easy.
mean, I'm having like a moral crisis right now because I've got, first printings of, the A cover, the 2099 variant, the black suit variant, and I have the Ryan Stegman variant signed by Ryan Stegman. And it's like, I love that I have all of that, but also I'm sitting on a little bit of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and
That was me.
yeah. So it's like, it's really hard because the thing that really gets me, the Stegman one, that would be the hardest to let go of. But like, the thing that gets me is like, a year from now, 2 years from now, I'll be able to buy those books back for $5.
That's what I was
You
saying.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I'm really kind of just in my mind, just being like, but but also like about the first print. I also have like every other printing they've done of it as well. But they're going to a 5th printing.
Damn, are they?
Yeah,
Damn.
That's crazy.
that's nuts.
Yeah.
I've actually never. I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but I've never heard of a book doing that. You know what I mean? Like I said, I know it has had to have, but I've just never paid attention enough to like have seen it myself. You know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh man, people are crazy out there. That's crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
I saw $80 and I listed it immediately. I was like,
you had no moral conundrum with it.
Well, I have a variant too, so I was like, I still have it.
Right.
Like, I can still read it.
Yeah, no, dude.
It's
I
like-
mean, honestly, I might try. I don't know. I might try flipping them, but dude, I don't know. Like I said, but I also feel like I'm part of the problem if I start doing that. You know what I mean? Like,
That's- yeah.
which I mean, it's not, but because dude, I mean, I had a guy like at my LCS, like with Ultimate Black Panther 1, and that's another problem is all the Ultimate stuff is doing this now.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
know it's all, yeah.
so like somebody came in and bought every single issue of the first printing of Ultimate Black Panther 1. And I hadn't told that. Well, actually, I probably did. I mean, I love, sometimes I forget, to put stuff in my folder. But yeah, I don't, or maybe I didn't tell them. Whatever it is. So I come in at 11:05. Store opens at 11, and they're like, "Oh yeah, they're all gone." And I was like, "That's great," And then this dude's like, just spent probably whatever it is. I don't know. I mean, they probably had 10 or 15 issues, $50, something like that, $75, and is going to flip every issue for, I think that day it was reselling on eBay for 25 or $30 a piece, I mean.
Yeah.
And that's not,
Yeah.
and I didn't get to read it, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I eventually read it, but not then, I was like, it's a bummer.
Yeah.
That story's great.
It sucks for the LCS too, because they got to make money, so it's like impossible for them to say no, because like, oh, you're willing to buy everything right now?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. They can't just be like, well, I'm going to put my foot down. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's like I have morals. It's like LCSs are very, very much usually hanging on by the skin of their teeth at all times, And that's another thing is like I don't know. I mean, this whole, and I love my LCS, and I mean, I know all of us that buy comics, love their local stores, but this is just such a weird way to distribute any kind of media. You know what I mean? Where you have one specific kind of store that you can go buy a book at. I mean, where else does that? You know what I mean? Where else does that exist?
Yeah.
Like, you can
It's a
buy
good
movies
point.
everywhere.
Very,
I
very
mean,
good
you can
point.
buy
That's a good
music
point.
anywhere. But you can't go into any kind of store. I mean, maybe Target might have a couple trades now, or you know what I mean? Like Walmart's trying to do a couple of trades of something, but I mean, they don't sell there because no one goes to buy comic books at Walmart or Target. Because they don't think they exist there. But too, like I said, it's just all the whole setup. I mean, comic shops have to buy the books. You know what I mean? Like an LCS has to already spend their money on the book. You know what I mean? Like, and so if they don't sell, then they're just stuck holding it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a shitty system, really, when you think about it. I mean, ordering in advance helps them get an idea. But I mean, still, I mean, it's like I said, it's just something needs to change, I think.
Yeah.
I never really thought of it that way, but that's a good point, that like it's the only medium where you can go to just one store to get it.
I mean, it's not crazy. It doesn't sound smart, you know what I mean? Like, especially like somebody like me, I live in a pretty rural area, and I'm lucky enough that I can just go whenever I want, but it's like a 45-minute drive to my local store. I mean, and that's out of the way. I mean, pretty severely. So, I mean, and there's a lot of people around the country because, this is a big country with a lot of open space that don't have comic shops anywhere close to them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's true.
I say bring back the spinner racks and put them in like 7-Elevens and stuff like that. Bring them back.
That'd be
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
them
dude.
back.
Hell
That'd
yeah.
be cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm all for it, dude. Put spinner racks in food, like grocery stores, and like, I'd love to be able to walk into a Food City and pick up a comic,
Yeah.
The problem is, I think when if I'm remembering how this was told to me correctly, because obviously I wasn't alive for that period of time, but I think the issue was when comics became more adult in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s. they couldn't put them out in stores anymore, and then they had to move into the local comic shop. And I think that you know what I mean, that's kind of probably, for better or worse, hurt the industry. Because dude, I mean, I legit have like one of my best friends, and he has nothing like to do with comics or anything like that. He just never cared about it growing up, but we just played sports together and everything. So, but I was like telling him, I was like, yeah, I got to go to the comic shop tomorrow, and I was like, pick up the new books, and he was like, new. And I was like, yeah. I was like, the books that released this week. And he was just like, he said, man, they still make comics. And I was like, yeah, every week. I was like, I mean, so I mean, a lot of people don't even know that they're still in print. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. I mean, that's I don't know. Like I said, it's a very, very odd industry to, you know what I mean? Like trying to kind of get a feel for. I know that rebooting every 4 years, 5 years is not what's going to fix it, though.
Absolutely not.
That's good. You got any other questions, Mateo?
I got one last question.
Okay.
All right.
What advice would you give to an inspiring comic book creator who wants to make their own comic and use social media as leverage, essentially?
Right. My best advice would be, God, that's a really good question, but I would say that it's just to go for it. And that sounds so stupid and so like cliche, and just be like, oh, well, you know what I mean? That's not advice at all. But I mean, in all seriousness, I couldn't tell you how many people reach out to me and be like, oh, well, I've created this, and this character. What do you think I've got here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, well, I've got these ideas. And it's like, dude, write it. You know what I mean? Like, write the thing, whatever it is. I mean, it costs you nothing to sit down and write a script. You know what I mean?
Very
like
true.
it takes nothing but your time. And all of these people that reach out to me and want to do this and make comics and stuff, and they just have these things and these ideas, and they think it's just going to fall out of the sky. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's going to open your door and be like, hey, let me hear what your comic is,
Right.
So as far as like that part of it goes, I think the best advice I have is just to do it, just to write it, for better or worse, and then write another script, and then write probably 10 more, because your first 10 are probably going to suck. And then, I mean, seriously, I mean, that's you got to get better at stuff. And then as far as the social media stuff goes, I guess the only advice I'd have is to kind of go my route, which is like, just build your audience first, find what works, and then pitch them on your thing. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't grow my TikTok account based off of the idea that I'm selling Allstar. You know what I mean? Like, I created an audience, and now I'm trying to pitch them Allstar. You know what I mean? So that would be my advice, is just try and figure out what works, what your niche is, and hammer down on it. Social media is something that I think, kind of like what we're talking about with these people that come up with these ideas for characters. A lot of people just kind of have the idea that it'll just fall out of the sky, and I mean, it's not. Yeah, I mean, well, you all know. I mean, social media is a lot of work if you want to really put in the time to try and grow on it. So I mean, it's the same thing. It's going to take time and effort, but like I said, build an audience first, and then whatever you're trying to write, just write the damn thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Sweet.
we've had a lot of, like, I don't want to say discussions, but we've talked about like just going for it a lot. We had Braden Boyd on.
Yeah.
And
Braden's doing the lettering on my book for everybody listening, though. By the way,
okay.
Yeah. I saw he also did a variant cover.
He did, yes. He did the B cover, the Shape Man variant. It's
sick.
Yeah. I love, listen, I mean, seriously, Braden's like retro fitted style is so like, it's weird to say something retro feels fresh, but you know what I mean? Like, just in today's art, you know what I mean? It is refreshing to see. I love Braden. He's a super talented guy too.
Yeah, but we were just talking to him, like, it's for both him and us, just like going for it, how he had to do the same thing and we had to do the same thing with the podcast. Like, I talked about it for a long time and like thought about it, but it's something you kind of just gotta, and like you said, you're gonna suck out of it first. And
well, I mean, it's everything in life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's I've never heard anybody be like, you know what, I picked something up and I was the best in the fucking world at it the first time. And if they're telling you that, they're probably lying, Tiger Woods was the greatest golfer. Obviously, Frankie, I know you like golf, but that motherfucker was playing when he was 3,
dude,
and playing every day at 3.
It's a different level.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like I said, man. I mean, it's it just takes time and effort. And how many episodes are you all into your podcast total now?
I think we're almost to 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50.
almost 50.
Hey, well, now you're in the top 1% of podcasts. You know,
Yeah.
99%.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, 99% of
Yeah.
podcasts die before episode 20. You know, so I mean that alone puts you, in higher territory. So I mean, I respect the hell out of it for going forward. Honestly, I mean that's like I said, I love podcasts. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you all are doing the show.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
We love having you on. I've got your first issue pre-ordered on comicbookdirect.com.
I appreciate that.
Pumped for Allstar. We'll definitely have to talk about it once it comes out. We'll have you back on again.
Definitely bring me back on. There is a sort of limit to how many we will be printing. So like pre-ordering is a great idea, just kind of like, because I've had a lot of people reach out and be like, oh, I'll get it when it comes out. And I'm like, just maybe do the pre-order just to make sure.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because we did a Kickstarter and there's only so much money to print. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I mean, if enough people are like keep racking up, the orders, I mean, we'll figure it out. But just kind of throwing it out there for everybody that's interested.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
And then now we'll switch to, like I said, March Madness. I created a fun little bracket of comic book characters. We did this last year, and we didn't do as many this year, but I'm excited to do it with you. I know when we got to hang out, I know you're a sports fan, so I figured this would be something you would be into.
Yeah, no, this is right up my alley. So
I will say it's comic book characters, and we had a problem with people in the comments about this last year. It's not about who would win in a fight. This is about this is about who your favorite character is between the two.
Who you enjoy more.
People always think it's like who win in a fight. It's like the coach.
So funny enough, I actually did this exact thing probably 4 years ago. It was pre-pandemic for sure. But I had a podcast that I was doing, way back when. And I kind of did like something similar, and I had the same problem. People were being like, "Oh, is it who wins in a fight, or is it who?" You know what I mean? Like, so half the votes were for one-on-one death battles or whatever, and the other half was for, you know what I mean? Like actually, like who they just enjoy more. So I'm glad you clarified. That's smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Had to clarify it. Also, people's favorite characters are going to get left out. I just kind of.
How big's the field?
64.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. So you're doing the full bracket. Hell yeah.
Full bracket.
Yeah.
I honestly looked up DC characters and Marvel characters and did Google Images, and I just started typing names.
All right, yeah.
There are a couple.
God, I gotta know who's like who's the 16 seeds in these.
I did random seeding, so it's just completely random.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Completely random. And
I guess because you would have some bias on how
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But there's a couple indie characters in there thrown in there, like Spawn, Invincible.
Right, the big ones.
A couple of them. Yeah. But I'll type out everyone's answers so y'all can't see it, so it's gonna be a surprise when I say it. You'll have to just go off impulse.
Very exciting.
But our first matchup is Professor X and Wonder Woman.
Oh, I mean, I'm going Diana easy for me.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with Diana again.
That should be a sweep. Okay.
Sweep.
Yeah. For sure. I'm not an X-Men guy, so it's easier for me. But
I mean, I like the X-Men, but Charles kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just being for real. He's kind of a dick bag, but I don't know. Can we cuss on the show?
Yeah. Free reign.
Just making sure.
But
next up, after that, we've got Sinestro versus Supergirl. That's another easy one for me.
I like Kara a lot.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
I'd go with Supergirl.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
Another
that's
sweep.
An easy one.
Another sweep.
This one's an interesting one. Wolverine versus Blue Beetle.
I'm going Logan.
Yeah. Wolverine. Another sweep.
I kind of thought you wouldn't, Mateo. Mateo's more of a DC guy, and I know you like Blue Beetle. I thought you were gonna go Blue Beetle there.
Maybe I just need to read more. But like, I watched the Blue Beetle movie when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a fan of it.
I gotcha.
We read a Blue Beetle comic on the podcast. Was not a fan of it.
We were a fan.
Which one was it?
Graduation Day.
Day.
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't read that series. Now I read Hami's like original, like
Yeah.
I liked
Uh-huh.
it a lot. So maybe try that.
I haven't read that one yet, so that's probably what I should do. But right now,
But
Blue
also,
Beetle
like,
has a sour taste in my mouth.
yeah, I get that. But also, like, Logan's one of the biggest Marvel characters.
Yeah.
So that I mean, we don't have to sit here and fight for him,
Next up, we've got Doc Ock versus Ghost Rider.
Oh.
Which Ghost
So
Rider,
easy.
for one?
Yeah, I was about to say which Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah. This is a rule I forgot to say. Not only can you, it doesn't have to be just comics. You can pull from anything: movies, video games, the inspirations for loving a character, and also if it's a character like that, it can be whichever you prefer.
So
Just kind of
whichever
like
of the legacy characters.
yeah.
Okay. The only thing hanging me up is I love the concept of Superior Spider-Man. So, and does Doc Ock count as that? Like, would you count, because that is Otto?
I mean, kind of.
And also, Spider-Man 2, which also is, I don't know. I'm just gonna pick Johnny Blaze. Like, Johnny's Ghost Rider. So
yeah, I go with Ghost Rider because he looks cooler.
We're also a big fan of characters that just look cool.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Ghost Rider, for me as well.
Okay, cool.
So has everything sweeped? I think
Everything's sweeped. Yeah,
which this is the first round. So I mean,
that is
true.
Should.
I think this one will change it. We've got Craven the Hunter versus Deadpool.
Oh, Craven.
Yeah, dude, I'm going Deadpool easy. Dude, Wade is like one of my favorite characters. Like, there's no
really.
Yes, I love Deadpool. So
okay,
yeah, and I've got to clarify. I don't like. So I feel like, and this is, you got to draw a hard line. I think when it comes to a Deadpool fandom, because there is like, I think people that just like Deadpool that are like, oh, it's cool because he cusses and he makes fart jokes or whatever.
Aesthetic.
Yeah, and I'm just like, nah, dude, it's like, Wade is such a complex character when you really dig into him. You know what I mean? That's the shit. Like, the sad clown is why I love Deadpool. You know what I mean? Like, not necessarily, it's not the cussing and the meta jokes or whatever. And I mean, that stuff can be fun, but you know what I mean? There's a lot to them. I want to clarify that because, people make assumptions with Deadpool fans.
That's a good defense.
That's a good defense. Very true.
Because I am also going Craven.
Oh my God, guys, what? No way.
Yeah.
Jesus. Deadpool losing the first round is huge.
I'm sorry. Me and Mateo both aren't like the biggest Deadpool fans. I'm not an anti-Deadpool guy, but like I'm just
you're whatever on him. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 words: Craven's Last Hunt.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely get that.
All right, and then we have
it's upset of it.
Martian Manhunter versus Spawn.
I haven't read enough Spawn to pick him over Martian Manhunter, so I'll take John. Is it John or Jean? Like, I don't even know how to ever pronounce those.
I think it's John
names.
or something like that.
John.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Spawn because he looks cool.
That's fair. That's a fair system.
I think. Oh man. I think I'm gonna have to go with Martian Manhunter because of the Justice League animated series.
Yeah, there you go. That was a lot of my motivation too. But John is a cool character. Spawn fans are going to be pissed. I don't know if you've ran into Spawn fans; they're very passionate.
Yeah,
very passionate.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a big fan of reading Spawn, but I like looking at the Spawn.
Yeah,
he's
art.
cool.
Yeah,
he looks cool.
It's old Todd McFarlane, I mean,
another fun matchup: Iron Man versus Galactus.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with Galactus.
Really?
I'm shocked by that.
I'm not. When it comes to like Iron Man in the comics.
Oh yeah,
not a fan. Not a fan.
I don't know. I don't like Tony. I mean, personally. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big Iron Man guy at all. I know that's probably deceptive because of the whole online presence, but no, I don't. I'm much more of a Captain America guy. But I will still, in this instance, I feel like Galactus is too much of a one-trick pony. So I will say Iron Man,
Yeah, I'm going with Iron Man, like you said, just based off MCU.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And then to finish off this side of the bracket, we have A battle
Not
of the
good.
villains: Darkseid versus Penguin. Two very different
Yeah,
levels.
That's very, very opposite ends of the spectrum. God, I mean, just Dark Side's so much cooler in my opinion. I mean, I gotta go Dark Side.
Dark
Yeah.
side, baby.
Yeah.
Darkseid sweep. All right, we can finish out this side of the bracket. We all have Wonder Woman versus Supergirl.
I'm still gonna go Diana personally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Same. And then we both have our Wolverine versus Ghost Rider. That's a fun matchup.
That is a really, really fun
Ooh.
matchup. And that's no matter what, you're gonna piss a lot of people off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
me personally, I'm gonna go Wolverine. So, have you
Me
seen
too.
did you see the Helverine thing they did recently?
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
That's a single issue I'm picking up.
Yeah.
I'm going Ghost Rider. I'm going
Fair
Ghost
enough.
Rider
Yeah,
for sure.
fair. That
Fair
should
enough.
it shouldn't have been a sweep. So I mean, that's for no other reason. Yeah. I mean, I think that.
And that's one I can't get mad at. Wolverine. I mean,
yeah, like
iconic.
I said, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, they sold like 9 fucking movies off his back. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Then me and Mateo have I have Craven versus Spawn. And then Peyton, you have Deadpool versus Martian Manhunter.
okay,
Mateo, you
that's
have
easy
Manhunter as
wage
well.
for me, but
Okay.
What do I have again?
You have Martian Manhunter versus Craven.
Oh. I'm going Martian Manhunter.
oh shit,
Really?
okay, wow, all right,
There's just more with Martian Manhunter because Craven dies and then he comes back and there's another run, but it was like done very poorly.
oh yeah, well, I mean, that's
With it's like his with his like children or whatever. I heard it was stupid.
that's Dan Slott. God bless.
I think so.
What was I cannot remember. It's some play on Craven's Last Hunt. They've done it like 3 times now. You know what I mean? Like, but
yeah, it was awful. I didn't read it. I was listening to a podcast of just explaining it. I was like, this is.
It's pretty
I'm not
bad.
reading that.
It's not good at all.
They should have just let them do it. And there's just more with John.
Yeah, the Kravinoff family like resurrects or tries to resurrect, the actual Craven. Like they got to do some big like blood sacrifice thing, and Madam Web actually that's where Madam Web dies. Yeah. So,
Oh really?
Really?
Yeah, that's where the new Madam Web gets, Julia or whatever. Like that's where she gets the powers. Is it Julia?
Oh.
Who becomes the second Madam Web? Anyway, it's one of
No
them.
idea.
You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, the original.
We've all got different answers in because I'm going with Craven.
Okay.
Okay.
But I've also played the second Spider-Man game, and that's a good Craven interpretation.
That is actually a really good Craven, I think.
Yeah.
Really, really good Craven.
The only thing, and it's like they had to do it because it's a game and you had to have something to do, but like Craven having Goonies was like a little like of a, you know what I mean? Like having cronies that work under him was like, but again, I understand for the game, you had to have somebody like bases to fight. So, it makes sense. But
yeah, that's a good point. And then the winner of Iron Man and Galactus versus Darkseid.
Oh, Darkseid.
Oh my God, people are going to hate me for this, but I am going to pick Darkseid as well.
Yes.
Robert Downey Jr. is carrying for me. I'm going Iron Man.
Yeah, I totally respect it. I get it. I mean, he's just not one of my favorite characters, period. You know what I mean? Comics wise or the MCU. And Darkseid, I think there's just a lot more potential in comics. Like I've read a lot more comics where he's meant a lot more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. And also like Mr. Miracle, that whole, like, have you all read that? Tom King, just having, the Darkseid was like, very, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's great. It's fantastic. So
if we were going just comics, I'd definitely pick Darkseid.
Yeah.
But
I get it.
Robert Downey Jr. for the win.
Yeah, I get it.
And then we've all got Wonder Woman, some versus Wolverine, some versus Ghost Rider. Y'all both have Wolverine versus Diana. That's a tough one. It's 2 icons.
That is 2 icons. That is for me. This is like I consider Marvel's big 3 to be Wolverine, Hulk, and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so this is like big 3. A member of the big 3 from each of them going head to head. This is tough.
Oh shoot, I think I forgot Hulk. Well, tough.
Oh man, yeah. Oh shit. All right. I am gonna go Logan. I think he's had better adaptations. And obviously, he's had great comics, but I think Diana's had great comics as well, but her adaptations are not as good. So that's just me
Fair.
personally. I'm gonna take Wolverine.
I'm about to go with Wonder Woman. I just like the whole mythology part of it.
I get it. Yeah. No, I respect the hell out of that. Yeah.
I'm going Ghost Rider. Definitely going Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
All right. So the next side of the bracket, y'all have Darkseid versus either Deadpool or Martian Manhunter.
Okay, I mean, for me, it's still Deadpool's again. I mean, favorite character for me. So I mean, it's like I have to keep advantage. It's going to be hard to take Deadpool
to knock him off.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like if it was an actual fight.
Yeah.
Darkseid.
All right. Mine's Iron Man versus Kraven. They both lose next round either way. But I'll give it to Kraven slightly.
Oh shit! Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, one of my favorite Spider-Man.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Spider-Man villains for sure. But he loses next round to Ghost Rider anyways. So, but y'all have this is the Elite Eight. This is right before the Final Four. Y'all have Wonder Woman and who was it? Logan versus Deadpool and Darkseid.
Let's see here. Wait, so I thought I already picked Deadpool versus Darkseid.
Or I mean, you have Deadpool versus Logan.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh shit. Well, there you go. The movie too. So
yeah,
there's that. But fuck. All right, this is actually where it gets tough. This gets really hard. God bless.
I have Diana and Darkseid.
Yes.
Okay.
My bad.
Oh, that's easy. Darkseid.
Okay.
Specifically, Jack Kirby's Darkseid. That's the iteration of Darkseid I have in my mind.
Yeah.
Jack Kirby's Darkseid.
Yeah, that's what that dude. It's like King Kirby. I mean, for a reason.
Oh yeah.
But Jesus Christ, people are gonna hate me for this. I'm gonna pick Wade still.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, people are gonna be mad. I know that's probably an upset from the public eye, but for me, I got to go with my gut, man.
I didn't know you were such a Deadpool fan. This is that's interesting.
It's very weird because like my all-time favorite characters are like Boy Scouts, like Superman, Cap, Cyclops, and then and then I've got Wade. You know what I mean? Like he's up there in like my top 5. So,
right.
But you got to mix it up a little,
Got to.
Very true.
Got to.
Very true.
All right. Let me get my laptop charger so I don't. This thing isn't. Hold
on. So we don't have a little bit of dead air. Anybody that's not a Deadpool fan, I'd recommend reading Jerry Duggan's run on Deadpool, the 2015 run. It's really good. Read Deadpool and Cable. Just to make sure that, if you all give these books a chance for yourselves, understand I'm not crazy. Let's see here. What else?
I feel like whenever someone doesn't like an adaptation of like a live action adaptation of a character, they should at least give the comic book counterpart a chance. Because when, for example, I wasn't a fan of the Miss Marvel show, but when I read her first run, one of my favorite Marvel.
Dude, it's so good.
It's fantastic.
It's so good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's when people, I'm like you, I get upset when people are just like, oh, I don't like Miss Marvel, I don't like Kamala Khan. I'm like, dude, fucking read it first before you give your opinion on it, because it's really good.
Yeah.
G. Willow Wilson.
And we're back.
Yeah, all right.
We're back.
No dead air, guys. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. For the next side of the bracket, we have Cyborg versus Nova.
What Nova? Richard Rider.
That's what I was gonna say, because you can pick any iteration too. I was kind of thinking of Sam a little bit. I like Richard Rider too, but
goats.
I will go. Yeah, I'll pick Nova.
All right, Nova sweep. Nova sweep. Next we have Silver Surfer versus Cyclops. That's kind of a Boy Scout-ish type character.
I'm picking Cyclops.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Scott, dude. I mean, that's what the X-Men 97 made me so fucking happy because it's like the first time since the original 90s series where I was like, they're doing him some justice on screen, because he sucked in the movies. It was horrible,
Right.
That's a character that we're talking about, like, and if you don't like the adaptation, read his comics. Like, Scott's comics are good, you know what I mean? And they're
Right.
X-Men comics, but he's really good in them. But yeah, so I'm going Cyclops.
Silver Surfer for me.
Same.
Yeah,
Definitely Silver Surfer.
I mean, I get that, but I love Cyclops.
Next is Moon Knight versus Venom.
Ooh, yeah, that's a fucking good one. That's a really good one.
Damn.
Oh, it's so easy for me.
Is it really?
It's Venom. Yeah, Venom for sure.
Jesus.
I might go Moon Knight because I love Venom. I have three Venom shirts, and then like the Venomnibus and all that. But Jeff Lemire wrote Moon Knight, and I love Jeff Lemire, so I gotta go with that one.
That was like
That's fair.
Have you read the McKay run at all on Moon Knight, the current one?
I read the first 6 or 8 issues. But
Same.
It was like a monthly thing, so I dropped it.
Right? Yeah. No, dude, it's the whole thing, all 30 issues. It's pretty heat. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
But Donny Cates also did write the best run on a character that I've seen in maybe ever. So I too will go Venom. And it's very close because I love Moon Knight, but I will also take Venom.
That's a tough first rounder.
Yeah. It is. That was tough.
I hate Moon Knight getting knocked off that quick. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
He deserved to go further.
Next up is, for me, the easiest one so far: Swamp Thing versus Kingpin, and I'm easily taking Kingpin. It was that would probably make some people mad.
Yeah, it's going to. I would say. Just
I'm going Swamp Thing.
Yeah, just because Alan Moore's run on Swamp Thing, if nothing else.
Yeah.
I'll go Kingpin too, just because of how much he's been used in others. You know what I mean, like in adaptations and everything. And,
he's such a good villain, dude.
Yeah. Oh, and the Daredevil show. Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
I have a hot take maybe on Kingpin, but comic adaptations, like he should be ridiculously big. Like I'm not talking like, oh, he's just a big
like in
guy.
Spider-Verse.
Yes, exactly. That's what Kingpin looks like to me. Like it's cartoonishly big. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree.
Yeah.
But the more I've read Daredevil, I've read a lot of Daredevil runs, the more Kingpin just rises for me.
Yeah. He was really good in Zdarsky's run too. I mean, I don't know if you've read it yet, but
it's the one Daredevil run I haven't gotten to is Zdarsky's.
Dude, you're in for a treat.
I'm excited. Next we have Black Adam versus Green Lantern.
Any iteration of Lantern.
Any lantern. You can pick any lantern you want.
Green Lantern.
Yeah, I gotta go Green Lantern too.
Same.
Kyle Rayner for me. Kyle Rayner.
I'm a Jon Stewart guy.
I think fair. I'm a Jon Stewart guy too. Yeah. Next is The Flash and the Joker.
Oh, easy. The Flash.
Yeah.
That dude doesn't like this Joker.
I'm a
big Joker hater.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go for the Flash because of Wally. I fucking love Wally West.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
for me, the Joker beats Wally with a crowbar. I'm going Joker.
I get it, dude. I mean, he's one of the most iconic villains ever. You know what I mean? Like, but
yeah.
Also,
this is another one though where it's not even. It has nothing to do with comics. This is both Heath Ledger and Mark Hamill.
I get that, yeah. Oh, fuck, yeah, that's true, too.
Yeah.
I forget. Yeah, Batman the Animated Series is impeccable.
And the Arkham video games.
Yeah, that's true. Shit. Maybe.
I haven't seen this one. This one's a really fun one. Oh, I do have Hulk. We're good.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
These next two matchups are fun. We have first Batman versus Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, no. Damn.
That's another two icons in the first round going at it.
God. I'm really going to piss people off.
I'm going Mr. Fantastic for me personally.
I'm going to read as well.
Yes.
For the meme, I kind of want to go Mr. Fantastic, but I can't. I gotta go.
Nah.
Batman, he can't be swept.
Yeah, I know he really can't. I mean, and that's the thing, and that's hard. It's just a matter of preference for me. I've read.
Yeah.
I think I've read all the Batman stories I want to read, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, I know that probably sounds stupid, but I mean, there's only so much that really grabs me about the character, and I know people are going to hate this that I'm going on about this, but no, I love Reed when he's written well, and he's written well in a lot of stuff. And the Fantastic Four have consistently great comic runs. When you ignore the big crossover events like Civil War, you know what I mean? Like, because that's not Reed. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Mark Millar's a douchebag. No. But in all seriousness, I love Reed. I think he's a very, very interesting, complex character. So
very true.
Got to justify it because everybody's going to be pissed.
And next we have Nightwing versus Hulk.
Nightwing.
I'm also.
I'm not that big of. I'm not that big of a Hulk guy.
I'm going to take Nightwing as well.
I think I'm gonna go Hulk.
Yeah, no, I mean, you should.
I'm not trying to go against the grain, but
no, also you should though. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, the Hulk can't get swept. You know what I mean? Like, not round one. I mean, it's.
I'm going with Hulk. I'm not still a big Hulk guy, but growing up, Hulk was probably my number two.
Yeah,
as a kid.
Sure. I mean, the Hulk is like, I think every kid's favorite. You know what I mean? Like for at least a moment of their life. But and two, I mean, he's like the Immortal Hulk is one of the greatest comic runs I've read. I mean, have you not read it? Oh wow.
I read the first volume and I didn't like it.
No way! Dude, Al Ewing fans will come for your throat. Dude,
R.I.P. Frankie.
Yeah, no, I mean, people who love Al Ewing, I mean, they are passionate about Al Ewing.
I have sworn that I will go back and check it out, though. Maybe, sometimes you're just not in the right mindset.
Yeah,
so
I
maybe
agree. It's very much. It's not. I don't think it's like a Hulk comic. You know what I mean? Like a typical one that you would expect. I mean, very body horror. You know what I mean? Like it's very unsettling. But it's a great run. So I mean,
that's one I'll definitely go back to it. But next we all have Nova versus either Silver Surfer or Cyclops.
I'm going Cyclops again. I love Scott Summers. I'm sorry, I do. That's another thing that people are going to hate me for. But I mean, he's a great character. You all read him. Read his comics. Don't take these adaptations. Watch X-Men '97. Actually, you can use that adaptation. But
Silver Surfer for me.
All different picks. I'm going Nova.
Oh, all right. Okay.
I'm going Nova.
I respect it.
Yeah. Next we have did we all pick Venom? I think we did.
Yes, yeah. Oh, okay.
I picked
Moon
Knight.
Knight? Okay, yeah. That's fair. So either Moon Knight or Venom versus either Swamp Thing or Kingpin.
I'll take Venom.
Yeah,
Moon Knight versus Swamp Thing. Damn.
That's tough.
I'll take Swamp Thing.
Oh shit!
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Upset.
Yeah.
Cinderella. It's Cinderella run. Then it's either Green Lantern versus either the Flash or Joker.
Ooh. I'm speaking in part for Mark Waid's run of the Flash. I gotta go with the Flash. So good.
Shit. This is really hard. I am going to take. I want to go the Flash. Hell yeah. What about you? Where are you going?
I'm going with the Joker.
Yeah, I mean, Joker deserves it. I get it. He does. I get it.
Literally, it's the same as Robert Downey Jr. Heath Ledger alone could get the Joker to the Final Four for me. But
I get that.
Next, it's for y'all. It's Mr. Fantastic versus either Hulk or Nightwing. For me, it's Batman versus Hulk.
Okay,
Mr. Fantastic.
I'm gonna get
quick answer.
Yeah,
easy.
I'm gonna go Nightwing.
Okay.
Fair
I mean,
enough.
All right.
that's a hard one for me. I mean, I love those are two characters I absolutely adore, but I am gonna just edge out Dick Grayson because it is more of that like Boy Scout thing. You know what I mean for me? I
Yeah.
think, but
No, yeah, I agree. I just had a random flashback. I remember last year, me and Mateo had Batman versus Nightwing in the
oh wow,
little
Oh,
bracket.
yeah.
hell yeah.
Mateo picked Nightwing. I'm gonna go Batman over Hulk slightly. That's a close
Yeah,
one for me.
I mean, yeah, that's a tough matchup.
Next, Peyton, you'll have Scott Summers versus Venom.
Oh,
Oh.
oh god, this is so tough because there's a long period of time too where Venom does suck in the comics when it's like Matt Gargan and you know what I mean, like and
Oh yeah,
Lee
I don't disagree.
Price
I don't
and
disagree.
I don't. It's Eddie. You know what I mean? To me,
Yeah.
Venom should be Eddie. Or Dylan. I don't mind when he's Dylan, but there's also some times where Scott's not the best. And Scott's had a lot of really really bad on screen adaptations. I'm gonna give it to Venom just by a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's tough for
Okay.
me. That's
Fair
hard
enough.
for me to do. But
And
Fair.
Mateo, you've got who do you have? Silver Surfer versus Swamp Thing.
Oh my god. Both very intellectual characters. Damn.
Yeah, very different but very similar,
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of.
Silver Surfer.
all right,
Silver Surfer.
I can respect it.
Ooh, I've got Nova versus Venom. This is really impossible, but
Which Nova do you prefer?
ooh, I also don't know the answer to that question.
No. I know you like
longer.
Sam Alexander. I know you
Yeah,
like.
yeah. If I had to pick, man, I actually might go with Sam. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it.
They're
man.
they're neck and
Yeah.
neck for me. I
That,
don't know.
that is one of like for me. That's one of the like the legacy characters that I have the hardest time picking which one. You know what I mean? Like whether like Rich or Sam. I mean, I 100% agree with you on that. Like the rest of them, like you know what I mean. I can like I pick Wally over Barry easily. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that's you know
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go with Nova though. Both Richard and Sam,
I get that. Yeah,
they're coming. They fuse
Yeah,
together to
factor
defeat
into
Nova.
that,
And then y'all have. Let me see. I think. What'd you pick, Peyton? Was it the Flash or Green? And you picked the
I
Flash,
did,
right?
Yeah, Wally's
So
packing
you've
this
got-
for me.
Oh, he's winning.
No, I
he's
don't
winning
know
no
if
matter
he's
what.
gonna win it all, but Wally's like you know what I mean. Like he's packing the Flash mantle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the Flash versus Mr. Fantastic. Or no, Nightwing.
Oh yeah, no, it's Dick versus Wally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's and I love their friendship. Like their bromance is like one of my favorite things. I will give it to Dick though. I will say that Nightwing's going to take it over Wally for me personally. But
Okay. Mateo, you had Mr. Fantastic versus the Flash.
Yeah. Oh man. Both had Mark Waid do their run.
no,
I gotta go with Mr. Fantastic.
honestly, I love Reed, so I mean I'm with you.
Yeah.
I mean
And then I have Batman versus the Joker. Okay.
oh okay yeah
Oh
hell yeah
man.
Batman.
yeah I get
Batman for sure. And then to end off this side of the bracket, I've got Nova versus Batman. Weird matchup. Peyton, you have do you have
I've got-
Scott Summers
I've
beating?
got Venom versus Dick Grayson. I'm pretty sure.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then Mateo has Mr. Fantastic versus Swamp Thing or Silver Surfer.
Mr. Fantastic.
I knew you were going Mr. Fantastic. Nova easily beats Batman for me.
I've
Easily.
got to go. I've got to take Dick Grayson here.
Okay.
oh my goodness, to the Final Four.
Damn.
I love Nightwing.
Another
man.
one
He's
I
of my
didn't see coming.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you want, if you're out of time, we can just do the 34 bracket, and then next time you're on, we can do the next 34. It's up to you.
Oh shit. Yeah, I just realized that we are only through like 2 regions, right?
But we can say the other 2 regions for next time you come on, and we can have.
I mean, I wouldn't
that's
want
fine
to hold your listeners up, but I mean, if you were cool with that, I mean, that would probably
that's
work.
cool with me.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger.
That's
well,
fine
I
with
mean,
me. That's fine with me.
Who's the 2 characters that I've got in the Final Four right now?
You have Deadpool, and you have
Okay,
Nightwing.
that's a great representation of my. But yeah,
Okay.
so that's perfect for me. Yeah.
Mateo has Darkseid
Mr.
and
Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic.
Oh,
and
man.
That's great too.
And I have Ghost Rider and Nova.
It's 2 great characters. So yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they all deserve to be there. I mean, I'm sure there's some upsets. People will probably be upset at home, but
it's March Madness,
that's what
though.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm down. I think we talked longer than I thought we would. We kind of just were talking comics and got swept up in it. But that's good. That's how it should be.
I did warn you. I ramble. So.
But that's not a bad thing. I'm glad because it was just a fun conversation.
Yeah. No, I had a great time, and definitely. And this gives me a reason to come back on. Not that I wouldn't have anyway, but I mean,
we definitely will. And we'll wait till the first issue comes out. I'm excited to read it. Is there any plugs you want to give to Allstar? Tell people like where to check it out or whatnot.
So obviously, I mean, if you can follow all my socials. It's all at Tony Stark TOO. But yeah, so I mean, you can find me there, and then I have a link in my link tree that goes straight to comicbookdirect.com. You can also just go to comicbookdirect.com. Big shout out to those guys. They're handling the printing and the shipping and everything like that. So they're essentially publishing the book for me. So either head to one of my social accounts or head over to comicbookdirect.com and directly just type in the Astounding All-Star, and you should pull, it'll pull the book right up for you. And like I said, pre-orders help. I mean, it kind of lets us know if we need to try and place a larger print order and figure all that out or not. So I mean, if you want the book and want to make sure that you're getting one of the printed copies, probably ought to, do the pre-orders. But definitely want to come back on when we're full tilt, wide open. Julian, my artist, has just sent me page 15, so we're getting there. You know what I mean? Like, So hopefully sometime next month. But
yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah,
we'll definitely have you back on once it's out. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sweet.
I think that's pretty much it.
All right.
That was it.
If you don't care for me, I'm going to plug something else too, real quick.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I am trying to grow on Twitch. I just hit 50 followers there today. So if you guys want to check out my Twitch, same social handles I use everywhere else. But so if you want to go support your boy, that'd be awesome. So
absolutely.
Yeah. That's like where I started in my like social media. Whatever you want to call it, was Twitch. I stopped streaming on Twitch. I'm actually going to stream video games on our YouTube.
Sick.
I hit, I think, 400 followers on Twitch, and then I stopped. But dude, Twitch streaming is like one of the most fun things I've ever done. You'll love it.
Yeah, I'm very, very early into it. I just got literally just got a PC and like a capture card and all of that stuff. I mean, I had the capture card, but I was trying to use my desktop computer, like just a normal tower. Definitely not made for going live on TikTok and Twitch simultaneously. Yeah. It was the old thing was right here at my feet, and I could feel it almost on fire while I was trying to do it. And I was just all right, I was probably got to bite the bullet on this one. But yeah, no, man, it's a good time so far. So anybody that wants to come hang out, I play Marvel games and stuff because I'm a big nerd,
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us on this episode of Comics Run the World.
Thank you all so much for having me, man.
Absolutely. Can't wait for part 2. Everyone who's listening, make sure you follow us on our social media at ComicsRTW, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and on Threads. Make sure to follow us, and make sure to follow Tony Stark on all the handles he just mentioned, and make sure to support his comic books.
Thank you, guys.
Support it. And make sure to subscribe to him on Twitch, right? It was on Twitch. Yep. Awesome. Cool. great having you again. I can't wait for the next episode. Anything else we want to say before we end off?
I think that's it, guys.
All good?
Yeah.
Keep reading
Awesome.
comics. That's what we
There
usually
you go.
say.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. And make sure to keep reading
There we go.
comics.
Thank you.
Bye.